Chaos is Managed. Let's talk. I'm Lynn.
I'm Lisa, and this is Couch Talk.
We've been talking, and we're going to start a movement.
Yeah. We are. We're going to move. So today, well, and it's based upon all the junk that's just been going on. And it's not just here in this country. You see stuff about it all over the place.
Oh, it's around the world. But how...
The division.
How did we get so divided?
Well, this is just it. How has it happened? Look at what they're putting out there for people to watch and see. Because so many people have gotten away from talking. But what they're seeing nowadays is all about the
Division.
different protests and rallies. Everything that you see that's hitting your podcast reporters. We're guilty. I mean, because it's news. What you hear being talked about on, quote, talk shows, on television.
Well, anything. It's
any
anything.
of it.
Anything.
Social media.
Period.
Social
Social media is a big one. There are so many keyboard warriors that just want their point of view heard or seen, read.
That's kind of a double-edged sword, because not only is it that, but they're wanting to put something out there that's controversial to get the likes. Because when you get the likes and the followers and the shares, you get the monetization, because you have to hit specific numbers in order for people to start getting sponsored ads and the like.
That's true. We don't have those numbers yet, folks. So make sure that you like this and share this.
And subscribe.
Yeah, like, share, subscribe.
The trifecta.
Exactly. When they say you've won the trifecta, we're it.
Wait a minute. There's no... Oh, yeah, you, me, and Tallulah.
Yeah, Tallulah.
Okay. But yeah, seriously. We've got too much of this going on where people are throwing out memes. And good Lord, the AI that people are utilizing and manipulating in order to just
create division. They have done it purposely to create division. I can see where AI can be handy in some instances.
Right.
But in others, I can see it as hurtful or a hindrance.
And then you have to ask yourself the question as to why. Why is all this division being... And it started...
Well, it was entertainment value to begin with, but then it's kind of expanded.
You look at it, because for the longest time, for centuries in this country, it has been, again, the race. Everything has been this race against that race. And
that's true.
And call it what you will, but predominantly it has been pit the white race against the black race, and everybody wants to go deep diving back to, well, that all started with slavery and such, and that's an argument I'm not having today. And it is what it is. We have to realize that at some point, you got to go beyond these things. And I think to a great degree,
we're being played.
We are being played, because
we're being played.
When you get out there and you're walking around, I don't care where you're at, grocery store, down at Disney World or something.
Everybody says hi to everybody.
Smile,
everybody is
nod.
kind. Yep.
I will admit, there are those here and there that you find that you're walking down an aisle and they're right in the middle of it, and come hell or high water, they're not budging.
I'm sorry, that's
it's just
and
plain
we're
rude.
not, but we're not pointing out one color over another.
I'm just saying
that's
that
a
it
lot
happens.
of people.
It happens that people choose to do that. They just figure that I ain't moving.
I'm here, so
lack
walk
of
around
courtesy.
Me. Well, and it's a lack of courtesy.
Me, self. But
exactly.
So we've gotten to the point where I think there's been more and more conversations that are coming out and pointing out the irrational thoughts that are being had and being perpetuated on social media.
Well, and I think that there has been so much fear instilled in people that if your side isn't winning, there's a problem. I think that, let's face it, fear controls.
Well, sure it does.
Fear controls.
Threaten to take something away from somebody or do something to somebody, and watch how they'll change.
Instill that fear, and then you see them
one of the
upholding
major cards tossed out in any propaganda scheme is fear.
It is.
So
It is.
But we've gone beyond the fact of let's pit the races. Now it's a case of the left versus the right, and
Yep.
granted that has been there for
Well,
ever,
that's another thing that's been
but
there for a long time. It has just
not
gotten
to this level.
No, not to this level.
It has just been within the past, I don't know, decade maybe, not even, that it has escalated to such a despicable, disgraceful level.
Yeah, we can no longer talk to each other.
No.
We everything's a shouting match. Everything is name calling.
It is.
And
Swearing.
Well, yeah, most definitely. Everything comes down to that, because if somebody asks a question and somebody is put on the spot
Right.
that they can't answer the question, their first and automatic reaction is to call them a name,
Right.
to holler at them,
Yeah.
that they have to leave, that
Circular
this is their
argue.
thing, and well, exactly, and then to spit out what they perceive as facts,
Yeah.
without having looked into anything. And I'm sorry, both sides are guilty on that.
Yes, they are.
And we know what we're talking about here. But both sides are guilty on that, because everybody has their talking points, and
Yes.
nobody really looks into or wants to know what's really behind it,
No.
to find the common ground we can all live with.
But look at where it all comes from. There is, even at the upper echelons in our government, you watch some of the congressional hearings on TV.
It's disgusting.
You have a person that is sitting up there as part of the committee posing a question to the individual that is being, for all intents and purposes, they're being totally interrogated. So a question is put out there. The panelist starts to reply. The congressional individual isn't happy with the words coming out of that person's mouth. So what's the first thing that happens?
They interrupt.
They interrupt. They talk over. And the other person is like, well, excuse me, I'm trying to answer your question. They just keep interrupting them. They overtalk them. They start yelling. And I have heard them curse. Is this professional?
Well, whatever happened to Robert's Rules of Order? They've been thrown out. Well,
Who's Robert?
They've been thrown out the window.
There's
Whatever
no rules of
happened
order.
to? But these are the people that are elected to represent
Right.
the people of this country.
They don't represent how I want to be represented.
No, they don't. I don't think they represent how the majority of people would like to be represented. I mean, if this is the standard.
Yeah. But see, look what they're trying to do. They are trying to shut down anything that is coming against what they're wanting to hear. So this is now transitioned down into everything that we see when people out there in public
disagree with anything.
We automatically go to
because your leaders are the ones that are putting that out there. They're the ones that, well, exactly. Follow the leader.
That has become the acceptable thing to be that way.
And it's not acceptable.
No, it's not acceptable.
It is not acceptable.
It lacks any level of modern, I don't know how I want to put this. But it lacks. It's sad because you're not speaking intelligently. You're not being respectful of the other person that you are trying to have a conversation with, because it's no longer a conversation. It becomes an argument.
Well, it becomes a shouting match.
And you get nowhere with that.
No.
Nothing is exchanged.
Nothing is ever resolved.
No.
But is that the whole purpose? They don't want anything resolved.
Well, it's about distractions, I think.
Well, I think you're right. They're keeping us so entertained with what's going on over here.
Yeah.
The magic trick is happening on the other side of the...
Well, meanwhile,
the stage.
Oz is doing all kinds of great things behind that green curtain.
Well,
And then by the time that you know about it, a couple months have gone by, you're like, wait, when did they do that?
I agree. And then you find out and it's too late because it's already happened because we were so entertained.
But they did it for the greater good, don't you know?
Well, I know. But now they have prompted people to go out and do the things that they're doing. And they're the ones that are providing this free entertainment for us. They're entertaining us for them. They don't even have to entertain us. Yeah. They have trained us to entertain for them. Yeah. And now we've got all this going on. This is the distraction. and we're not looking at what's going on behind the curtain.
No.
We're not looking. That's probably a bad phrase to use, behind the curtain.
I don't know.
But I mean, but what would common ground look like?
Well,
I mean,
you have to, first and foremost, we all have to acknowledge the fact that you cannot, in any way, shape, or form, agree with someone 100%.
no, that's not reasonable. It's not practical. It's just that's not going to happen.
Even in your own family, people can't agree 100%. Your best friend, you're not going to agree with every single thing they say, think, or do.
We don't agree on everything.
We don't.
No, we don't.
I'm sorry for all the rental space you have in my head. But no, it's the truth, because there's just different little things that everybody's going to see.
That's right.
Subtly different.
Well,
There's different
everybody's got their
degrees
own
of
way.
it.
Everybody's got their own way of doing things.
Well, and the problem is that everybody thinks their way is best.
Well,
their thoughts are best.
Yes, that's true.
What they believe is best, and
That's
which
true.
is why they always talk. You didn't ever talk about, what is it, religion and politics in public, or the
That's
things you
true.
never brought up in conversation, because it just does nothing but generate argument.
Very true.
And boy, are they proving that right.
Amen.
Think about it.
Oops, was that religion?
If you were to sit back and actually know that you're having a conversation and acknowledge the fact that the person you're conversing with is not attacking you as an individual.
So you're talking about listening before reacting. Isn't that a concept?
What is it? They talk about the fact that there's a difference between hearing and listening.
Yes.
One is active, one is passive.
Yes.
And this is just it. You have to shut up long enough for the other person to say what they're saying. You need to acknowledge and comprehend what they're saying, and maybe you even need to repeat it back to them to make sure that you have clarity on what was said, or ask a question or two. And therein lies the rub. Nobody wants to ask a question. Everybody just wants to thrust out their thoughts.
They're just putting out their point. They're
And then
not
walk
asking.
away.
Yes, they're not. Well, shout you down if you say, "Well, I think," because they don't want to hear what you think.
Right.
We need to turn the tables on that. We need to start listening, not to respond, but to actually hear what somebody is saying, so that you can discuss in a normal way,
so
instead of having that big reaction right on. You're wrong.
So I think that's what you really means. You want to listen to what the other person's saying, not with the idea that you're going to do a snap judgment, knee-jerk reaction.
Not to holler at them and
but
react
you want
and name
to
call.
Absorb and
Actually
comprehend what was said.
Yes.
So that you can actually respond
in a reasonable,
rationally,
in a reasonable, rational tone and manner.
Well, that's just it. Not everything,
and that is what is lacking these days.
No, it's almost like people just want to have an argument. It's almost like they're bucking it to get beyond a conversation, escalate to an argument, so that start throwing hands.
Well, whatever happened to being curious? We've lost that curiosity, that want to understand.
Bingo.
And we've just jumped right to being so judgmental,
self-righteous
about everything.
Well, yeah, that's another aspect of judgment that's being placed, because
why is that?
If you don't agree with what my side thinks, well, then you're just stupid. Is kind of the way they want everything to be thought about.
That's true.
As opposed to, here's another problem that goes with it too. Too many listen to what is being pushed out through media platforms.
Okay, well, mainstream media
has been
proven to be propaganda machine
since it started.
Yep.
And it's a case of, you really have to look beyond just those little bits that are put out to you in any news format. Whether it be somebody just talking like we talk about it, you have to look farther into it for yourself. Stop letting people tell you what to think and believe.
Well, how many times have you gone through Facebook to see what's in your feed, and you run across a headline from something, and it'll say something, and everybody jumps on there with their opinion, but they never read the article, never read it, and the title
is nothing but
that
clickbait.
was on that was just to get people to react.
Exactly.
And they do. People react without
It's
reading.
like Pavlov's dog.
Ding, ding, ding.
I'm telling you. It's sad because you really do. They have stopped making people want to think for themselves because everything has just been thrown out there and told to them. This, here. It's been hand-fed.
It has.
You don't go looking into things any further. So now it's gotten to the point that not only are you having them tell you this is what you ought to believe, with the way that they can manipulate things, you don't even know what you can believe.
That's very true. And with all the AI stuff that's pumped out there too, you don't know what's real and what's not.
See, because I wanted a trampoline in my
anything.
backyard so the bunny rabbits would have something to play on because everybody knows that happens.
Well, that would be fun to watch,
Wouldn't it?
but who's going to put the bunnies on the trampoline? I mean, do they hop up there? How does
I
that
think
happen?
if you have a little bit step stool or something, they can get up there and
Okay, do we direct them to the step stool? How
maybe
does that
leave
work?
carrot trail.
Carrot trail. Do they really eat carrots?
I don't know. I never had rabbits.
Bugs Bunny did. What's up, Doc?
Good Lord.
Well, but you know what? I firmly believe that there is still hope for this world.
I do.
Because when things happen, neighbors come together.
It's true.
And my big thing was, perfect example was when Hurricane Michael came through our area. We're in the panhandle of Florida, is where we're located, and it came right up the main highway, right off where we live. Like, we're like, what, a mile or two?
You were almost in the dead center.
I mean, the eye came right up the highway.
Right.
And our road, you could not get out of our street. There was literally trees down everywhere. You could go 5 feet and there's another tree down.
The apocalypse hit.
It really was. It really was. And we went out with our chainsaw and we cut a path wide enough for a four-wheeler to get through.
Right.
And then the neighbors came behind us and they made it wider to be able to get a truck through. And everybody kind of worked together to get the road back open, only to get out to the paved road. And when we got there, you could go like maybe a mile in each direction before everything was...
All the trees.
You know, yeah. But, I mean, that's just a perfect example that if you needed something, you still had people. Everybody was coming together. They were going in. They were rescuing neighbors. They were helping each other. And it's just a darn shame that it takes
that.
Well, it shouldn't take a tragedy,
but you know
in order for that to happen.
No, it shouldn't. But the problem is with the way things have gone in society and the fact that so much of what you hear is so
Negative.
very negative. You're afraid to, for instance, just a couple days ago, my husband was driving down the road. Somebody was half on, half off the road. He rolled down the window, "Hey, you need help?" And the guy said, "Well, yeah, I kind of could," because the man had left his phone at home. Couldn't contact back to the house, couldn't call anybody to get help. His truck had died on him.
Oh.
So Rick spent a couple hours, making sure that they had, somebody could come and tow his truck, and it got to the point that even, they exchanged phone numbers, and he told, because the man's wife came, and they exchanged phone numbers, and my husband had told him, "Hey, just let me know you got home safe, okay?" So he did. He called. I mean, the guy's sitting there stumbling over himself, trying to say, "Oh, I should pay you something." My husband's like, "No. This is what you're supposed to do.
That's what you're supposed to do as a human."
But see, nowadays it's gotten to the point. I mean, me and you being women, it's scary.
Yes.
When you have a breakdown and you have a man that you don't know pull up and want to offer help. Ted Bundy is running through my brain. I mean, I'm sorry. You lack that trust because you hear so many horror stories of, and granted, I am not classified in that cute little age group that somebody would go tearing me off somewhere and hiding me in, some witch's cabin somewhere. Selling me off, yeah. But still, it's those thoughts that run through your head. Is this guy somebody that's okay, or am I going to be a meeting my maker moment here? It's scary.
I think, I think that they put that out there to be scary, to scare people.
Because
do
it's
we
more
need to be
keep 'em
aware of stuff like that happening? Most definitely.
Of course.
Is it the majority of the people that are out there? Absolutely
I don't think
not.
so. No?
Absolutely not.
But it's like anything else. It's because the squeaky wheel gets the
grease.
oil.
Well,
It's
yeah.
the way that it goes. And this is what they put these things out there because it is shocking to your psyche.
Well, but it also gets people. It gets people talking, and like you said, it instills the fear.
It's the fear again.
Now, if we make people fear, they're not going to talk to each other. And now we've got the typical ant grasshopper.
Well, wasn't there a movie?
I'm pretty sure there was.
I'm pretty sure there was too.
I'm pretty sure there was. And people need to start realizing that we are the ants and they are the grasshoppers,
Because-
but there's more of us than there are
Yes.
of them. And if we all come together and find common ground,
Right.
we will be able to keep
and
our liberties.
Right, but on
And-
top of the common ground, you also have to use common sense. Because you can find common ground and still have
well,
dissent
I can agree with that.
and all that. You have to use your common sense when
We're
you
not talking anarchy here.
No. I mean,
we're
you know,
talking common ground.
but you consider this whole thing, all this division stuff. It's not about the left versus the right, the blacks versus the whites, about the American.
It's about control.
It is all about control. It is
all about control.
The upper government levels against all of us.
Yep. The serfs.
You have to look into what the real narrative is, what they're trying to do. You look at the prices of food, gas, automobiles, housing. All of that is control mechanisms.
It is.
They don't have to be that way.
No, they do not.
Your job markets and such are all affected by that. What you can and cannot do is affected by that.
It is.
And you have to start realizing that it's we the people in this country
That actually
hold
controls.
the power.
Yes, we do.
People
we
need to
can
learn
actually control.
the Constitution.
I
Don't just
agree.
sit there and say, "Oh, well, we have a Constitution," and you might spew off First Amendment and know that there are 5 guarantees. But do you know the rest of them? Do you know the other 27?
Well, and therein lies the
Or I should
problem.
say 26. There's 27.
I believe that our school systems are failing our children.
That
in-
was
in
devised.
teaching. Yes,
back
most
in the
definitely
70s.
was. It most
Board of
definitely
Education.
was.
Federal Board of
And there's
Education.
other things that they do. Any child that's on an IEP and gets pulled out for reading help, any kind of reading
Yeah.
assistance, do you know what class they pulled them out of to get that assistance?
History.
Yes, it is the history class.
Yeah.
They pulled them out of history, i.e. social studies, whatever you want to call it. That is the class that
Yeah.
they pulled them out of.
Right.
So these kids don't even get that.
But it's all it's you have to look at the layers of engineering that have gone behind all of this and start to realize that we need to unify as people,
we most definitely
as citizens
we
of
need-
these United States.
we need to come together. We need to find that common ground.
We do.
We need to create that community, and we need to do it authentically. We need to do it with kindness, and we need to do it with humor.
Well, exactly. We have to stop being so hyper offended by everything.
And that offense was another created thing.
It
They
was.
created the offense
They did.
to keep us
They
divided.
did. Now, granted, there are things that can be said out there that are offensive.
And
Most
I agree
definitely.
with that. I agree with that.
And this is the thing where you have to use your common sense and you acknowledge the fact that you can't look at somebody and say certain things or use certain terms in reference to that individual because it's just wrong.
But have we become a people of feeling more than we've become a people of common sense?
It's got to be more so that way, in my opinion.
And I really do believe that the advent of the internet, where everybody can be a keyboard warrior
Instantaneously.
and never have to
There's no
have a conversation.
No, because they can make a comment and never have to look at that particular thread, post, whatever again. People can comment under that person all that they want. Who cares? I
Well,
said my piece. I may or may not have
I
ticked a
said
few
what I
people
had to
off.
say, but this whole thought of feelings versus common sense, I think that we've become so ate up with our feelings
Yeah.
that we're not using the common
Nope.
sense
No, we're not.
to really look at how things shouldn't be, because everything is not about self.
Right.
It is not about self.
Right.
And that's the direction that everything has gone in.
Well,
It's
this is
all
the
about
way
me.
they-
Everybody gets a trophy.
Well, okay. The everybody gets a trophy thing.
Well, I mean, that's what it boils down to. Everybody gets a trophy. It's all about feelings. It's all about same. Who is there to lift the other guy up and pat somebody on the back and say, you know what?
Well,
You're number one. You did better than everybody
At
else.
what point? I mean, yeah, they do it. They start that whole thing. What was that? They started that back in what, the 90s?
Oh, it's, yeah.
Something like that, where everybody gets a trophy,
Yep.
a participation
Doesn't
trophy.
matter if you won or
well, you're
not.
not going to keep score and all that other kind of hoo-ha. It's ridiculous.
That's
Because you
not
know
real
what?
life.
Guess what? The parents sitting in the stand are keeping score.
Yes,
the
they
kids
are.
sitting on the bench waiting for their turn. They know who scored how many times.
They do.
So it's inherently there because by nature we're competitive.
We are, and I think that in a way with the everybody gets a trophy, they're squelching that competitiveness. So did this perpetrate all of this keyboard warrior, I'm right, listen to me?
Isn't that kind of like a backlash in a way?
Well, that's what I'm thinking.
But in the same thing with this whole everybody gets a trophy and everybody wins, consider the fact now you don't have to even acknowledge or be responsible or accountable
Nope.
for anything.
There is no accountability.
You don't learn that it's okay to not win.
No, well, and you don't, and in return, and this is where some of this, the anger and what we're seeing going on out there, you don't know how to regulate self. You don't know how to use self-control. You lost. If you lost, well, you're going to be in your muddy grubs for a while. But you go and you congratulate the other team or the other winner or whoever it was and say, man, you did a better job than I did.
Which is why they have the shaking of the hands at the end of the game.
Well,
but
exactly. But
sometimes
they
you
need
see
to
how
take
they
it that one step further.
You
where
see how some of them
you
do
didn't
it?
Well, I know. You didn't get the trophy. You didn't win.
Right.
I mean,
it's a bummer, granted.
But you need to learn to control your feelings because life does not run on feelings.
No, and it's no different than when
sense.
you have a disagreement because sometimes you're wrong.
Exactly.
And you have to learn to realize that you can't be right all the time.
Wait a minute.
What?
I can't just sit there and shout at somebody and call them names.
Well, you can, but you're not going to get very far.
I don't know. I see it all the time out on Facebook.
People will eventually shut down and shut you out and walk away.
Well, but that's exactly what we're seeing happening today.
Because
that's exactly why it's happening.
They don't want to have a conversation. They don't want to find the common ground that they can stand on.
This is why Couch Talk is starting the Common Ground movement. And I'm going to do a quick little break here, and I'm going to tell you that we have Common Ground merch that is out in our store. If you go out on couchtalk.com, that's COWCHTALK.com. Click on the store tab and it'll take you into our store. You'll be able to find those t-shirts, mugs, hats, and you can actually take the Common Ground photo image, and if you find another piece of merchandise, tote bag, whatever, that you want to put it on, it allows you to do that and make something that you want with the Common Ground on it. But yeah, they're conversation starters, and that's what it is. That is what the Common Ground is all about, is to get people out there to start those conversations so that we can start to find that common ground again, so we can come together and just be the people that we were meant to be instead of what we've become. What we're seeing happen.
Yeah. Get back to the country we were initially meant to be.
Yeah, most definitely. And so, but if go out there and get one for yourself.
Definitely.
When you're walking around, somebody asks you, hey, what's with the t-shirt? That's your chance. That's when you say, we're all just trying to find a little bit of common ground, and then strike up a conversation with that person, because you never know what you'll find out. You might find out you were wrong about something. They might find out they were wrong about something.
Hey,
But if we don't
make a
find
friend.
common ground, exactly. If you don't find the common ground,
You'll
if
never
you
know.
don't have those rational discussions,
Right. Right.
I mean,
it's like living in a bubble your entire life.
yeah.
Got to get out there.
I want to challenge our listeners to do one small thing this week to build a bridge and not a wall.
Ooh, that's a great challenge.
That is a great challenge.
Yeah.
So when you're out there this weekend, just, strike up a conversation with somebody that you normally don't talk to. See what they
Exactly.
have to say. Who are they? What do they believe?
Exactly.
You might find some common ground.
You might definitely find common ground.
Yeah, most definitely.
I think our hearts and spirits in this country are more closely tied than people are being led to believe.
I do believe that there are more people out there that would love to find the common ground. We just don't know who they are.
Well, because they're not getting a voice.
No,
Because
they're
everything
not.
you see is the
Yeah.
irrational confrontations.
Yeah, they've been stifled. They've been, it's all the shouting. It's all the, maybe that's what we need to do. Get out there and write to your politicians and tell your politicians that they need to stop hollering at each other, stop calling each other names. They need to start acting like rational human beings that they're supposed to be. Yeah, the adults that they were elected to be to run this country.
There are
for
leaders.
Us. Yep. They're supposed to be our leaders.
Sorry.
So write to your congressmen, write to your local people. I'm sure that there's mayors out there that are just not being good.
Of course. It's
Starts
at all
local.
levels.
Yep. Starts local.
It's even in businesses. I'm sorry. When I sat in boardrooms and they couldn't come up with better language than vulgarities.
Most
it just
definitely
speaks to me of the fact that your vocabulary is shockingly lacking. Do better.
No. And that's what we're hoping to do with this movement, is to help people to learn to talk with each other.
And if you're not
find the common ground.
in agreement, it doesn't
Agree to
mean you
disagree.
have to argue. Exactly. You can agree to disagree. It's as simple as that.
Yeah.
Your job in life is not to convince someone else to think like you do.
No, but if you have information that might make them think,
Right.
that might prompt them to dig into something a little bit, there's nothing wrong with that. That's
And
how people learn.
and there's nothing wrong that when somebody does bring up a topic that you do not have knowledge about, there's nothing wrong with like, hey,
Don't know anything
I don't
about
know
it.
anything about this. Listen to what the other person can
Yep.
share, and you know what? You got that keyboard. Go use it for good. Learn something.
Yep. Google the information before you take off.
And don't just go to one
what you
source.
think you know.
When you Google, that's one of the worst disservices you can do yourself.
Well, unfortunately, some of the search engines that we have are so interconnected.
Yeah.
That's all that we end up with.
Well,
And
then sometimes you need to find alternative.
I agree.
And open your mind up to the fact that the main ones aren't the only ones. And the fact that there are other voices out there that are being stifled because of the level of control that can be exerted by these big conglomerate owners of these media outlets.
Yeah, most definitely.
So,
Most definitely.
Well,
So there you have
you
it.
go.
We
Yeah.
invite everybody to go out to couchtalk.com. Get yourself your own Common Ground
become
t-shirt.
part of the movement.
Become part of the movement. If you enjoyed our podcast today, please like, follow, share. Like, follow, and
If you
share.
get one of our shirts, hats, whatever you decide to put Common Ground onto, and somebody sees it and asks about it, tell them where
you
they got it.
Tell them where you got it.
Exactly. Hey, we got movements start
Yep.
in small places.
Movements start in small places.
Hey,
and
look
they
at what
grow
happened in
larger.
1775. For
That's
goodness
true.
sake.
Ours doesn't come with tea, so there's that.
No,
There's
it's
that.
not in an ale house either. But that's okay.
That's okay.
We have coffee.
I don't have horses.
You've got cats and a dog.
That's true. I have
That's
cats and a
all right.
dog. But that's
We can-
okay. They all live together nicely because they share common ground.
Exactly. So, with that,
That's it. Coffee's on.
chaos managed.
That's
That's
Couch
Couch
Talk.
Talk.